comic book fans, and welcome to another exciting edition of Cammy's Comic Corner. I'm your host, as always, Coffee. Now, it was quite the, I don't know, in my opinion, it was kind of a lame week for comics. Like, I didn't really feel the punch that I usually do when I'm reading my comic book. So, I read a couple of good titles, but then, after that, it was just like, really? That was all this week? I could have gone for something more. Please? Anyone? Give me something? But enough about that. Let's just get this ball rolling, get this train started. We don't want to be late to the next station. So, on to the pick of the week. From DC Comics, we have Green Lantern Corps number 35, written by Peter J. Tomasi and art by Patrick Gleason. Now, in the last issue of Green Lantern Corps, they were transporting the Red Lantern Vice to the science cells in Oa. Well, guess what? In this issue, he breaks the fuck out. And he is killing everyone left and right. Green Lantern, Yellow Lantern, it doesn't matter. He is just all about killing and rage and violence because he's not a very nice man. So, even though the Yellow Lanterns are getting their rings back because the rings bust out of the holding cell, they're not, they're not free. They have to deal with Vice now. And so it's up to Kilowog, Kyle Rayner, and Guy Gardner to put together a nice little army of reinforcements to go and deal with the problem. They can't go through the front door because that's exactly what they're expecting the Green Lanterns to do. So they have to go up through the sewers and have a little surprise attack. Next issue, we should see the aftermath of what happened in said fight. Meanwhile, with Aricia and Sodom Yat are going to Daxam to go and find Sodom's father and the survivors and see if Mongol's really staying there. There's even a big snake Sinestro sentry guarding the entire planet, and they have to pull a old hide on the asteroid routine. You know, that's a classic one in the playbook. Anyway, they get down to the planet just in time to see the first wave of Daxamite survivors throwing themselves off a cliff in ritual suicide. Kind of like lemmings, but they don't want to be under the Sinestro Corps rule, so they'd rather kill themselves. Well, Aricia and Sodom get there just in time to save a few, take care of the Yellow Lanterns that are guarding up there, and now it's Sodom's duty to, since they have no Green Lantern reinforcements because they're all fighting lanterns off everywhere else, is to unite Daxamites to go up against a common foe, Mongol. So I really enjoyed this issue. Patrick Gleason's art, I think, just fits this series perfectly. I know a lot of people don't like his art on this title, and I can't really understand that because, in my opinion, it fits well with all the aliens and how they look and whatnot. And it was a very cool little one-shot. You get to see Archilio with his tongue hanging around his neck like a necklace as a little reminder of, don't mess with Mongol. So other than that, Peter J. Tomasi, again, giving us all this great shit. Go pick it up if you're not already, because it's right now, this close to the Blackest Night. This close! Only a few issues left of both series, and then we're there. Now, on to the Fast Five. First up, from Icon, we have Incognito number 3. Now, this is by Sean Phillips and Ed Brubaker, and in my humble opinion, this is just me, but hear me out. These two need to do every single fucking book together. They should never work without each other. They make each book I read by them absolutely mind-blowing and fabulous and fantastic. With that being said, we follow Zach Overkill as he is being blackmailed by his old pal Farmer to do all this shit. And in the end he goes, you know what, I finally had enough. And it could have come at a better time because Ajax and Fire Thunder, a couple of Black Death's goons, find Zach and they have a big old brawl in the mall. And yes, I do realize that does rhyme. That wasn't intentional. But it's just the fight scenes in this issue is just what makes Incognito such a great, superpowered criminal. And, it makes sense because this is Brubaker and Phillips we're talking about. Next up, from Vertigo, we have Air number 8. Now, I've said it before, I'll say it again, people. This is the next Vertigo title you should be picking up. This is the next Sandman, Scalped, Fables, Wild Last Man, all rolled into one. But not really, because that wouldn't make sense. Anyway, we follow Blight in this issue as she realizes she's just lived Zane's entire life within 20 seconds. And this all happened as the vehicle was plunging down out of the sky towards the ocean. But she regains her consciousness in the last few seconds, and they make it off to safety. She now knows where to find the device, and they go into the into the limbo zone where Amelia was forever, and they find the device, and it's a very gorgeous device. They have a pyramid, this is a square. It's all going to make sense in the future issues, but this has just been continuous zany fun, and I highly recommend that you go out and pick it up. Next up from Image, we have The Walking Dead number 60. That's right, people. Let's have a celebration. I'm finally caught up on The Walking Dead. It took me 4 hardcovers and a bunch of single issues later, but I'm finally caught up. And since the rest of you aren't, because everyone likes to collect it and trade, I'll just do kind of a spoiler-free-esque review. Not really. I won't say any names. However, the last issue, they were trying to outrun the herd that stopped him in the car. The herd of zombies, which is like thousands and thousands of zombies. They try to make it by a nearby house, hide in it, put some, devices that make noise in the house, and go out the back windows. The zombies are trying to figure out, oh, how do we get in? But meanwhile, upstairs, where they're looking for parts, there's quite the grisly scene of a family suicide, where these people, this happened just when the outbreak began, and, they're protecting their loved ones by killing them. And then killing themselves. It's really kind of brutal. At the end of the issue, we find out that they're on their way on the road again, and that Dale blames Rick for everything bad that's happened. So I don't see Dale and Rick being friends in the next couple of issues, because they're kind of like opposites, and in this case, opposites don't attract. Next up from IDW, we have G.I. Joe Cobra number 2. Now, number 1 blew me away. Number 2, very fun, almost as fun as number 1. In this issue, Chuckles is going undercover more and more, going up through the ranks, finding out that the head of this Cobra organization is known as just Mr. X, and he discovers that when G.I. Joe were doing some surgery on his shoulder, they implanted a little receiving device in his brain, so he can emit waves and chew on foil to make Morse code and receive, and that gives him a hell of a headache. And in the later part of the issue, we find out that he's still being tested by Cobra's ranks, and he might be getting a little bit too close to the enemy. You might want to back off, because that might be someone else's gal. So, non-stop fun. Sure, it has the $3.99 price tag, but, if you like a G.I. Joe's series, you're going to be liking this one. So, pick this one up. And finally this week from Marvel, we have Punisher number 4. Now, a lot of people might not be liking this Punisher because they say, oh, this isn't Punisher Max. Well, of course not. If you want Punisher Max, go read Punisher Max. Just because Ennis left the book doesn't mean that the action hasn't been non-stop. I've still been enjoying it. But anyway, in this issue, the Hood soldiers slash SWAT team couldn't kill the Punisher last issue. And the Punisher has a little free-for-all killing spree in the sewers in this issue. And the Hood's just underestimating the Punisher. This isn't Aunt May. This is Frank Castle. You do not fuck with Frank Castle because he will fucking kill you. It's just that simple. But anyway, the Punisher is now going to go up against the Hood, but now he needs a couple of special armor requirements to help him out with this mission. I mean, it's pretty cool. A lot of people might think it's cheesy, but I think it looks pretty badass. So, it's going to be quite the showdown next issue with Punisher versus Microchip and the Hood. Well, comic book fans, that does it for Cammy's Comic Corner this week. If you want more Cammy's Comic Corner goodness, go to www.cammyscomiccorner.com. From there, you can subscribe to us on the RSS feed or on iTunes. And if you check it out, the site's been updated a little bit, and I have a couple of new sections. I got my friend Greg. He's doing his own reviews. He'll be under the Man with the Mustache section, because my mustache is far inferior to his mustache. Also, if you want any of the kick-ass t-shirts that I'm wearing, like Air, like I just talked about a few minutes ago, head on over to www.deadlinegraphics.net and send Kelly an email. The deal going on for the month of April is buy any 3 shirts, get the 4th shirt free. It's a killer deal like that. You should be jumping on this. You should be pausing this already and going to the website. And also, he is the main sponsor of the Cammy's Comic Corner Fan Appreciation Contest. And the winner this week is Mr. Jason Prince of Virginia. Jason requested a Green Lantern t-shirt, and Kelly's going to whip him something up. So bravo, Jason. You truly are a prince for entering in that contest. And remember, we have 1 more week left in April. So, there's still a chance that you, yes you, I'm talking to you, not these other losers, I'm talking to you, that you could be picked. So head on over to www.deadlinegraphics.net and send Kelly an email with your name, address, t-shirt size, and what t-shirt you're interested in. There's only one name that I trust when it comes to comic book t-shirts, and that is Kelly, over at www.deadlinegraphics.net. Well, comic book fans, quite the lame week, like I said. So I'm going to just stop this job, and I'm going to be a corporate sponsor for any corporate coffee company. So remember, if you invest in coffee and you need a new spokesman, this is my audition tape. That's some fucking good coffee. Good night, people.